Hi, everybody. Welcome to a very important module on food. And as you'll learn in this module, climate change will make a very grim situation in terms of our food supply, global food supply, much, much worse over coming decades, especially in places like sub-Saharan Africa and the Middle East. And I want you to realize, starting this module, that we're superimposing climate change on a very grim situation. In 2016, 108 million people in 48 countries were in this IPCC phase 3 category, which means urgent action required in terms of providing food. And this has grown substantially over the last 3 or 4 years. In 2019, this grew to 135 million people in 55 countries in this urgent category. So that's a significant increase. And as I'll show later on, the pandemic has made this situation far, far worse. In the one thing that we need to realize is the global distribution of people in this urgent category is extremely uneven. And in Africa and Middle East and Asia, there are millions and millions of people who are in this urgent category. The large majority of people in the urgent category live in these two locations. And this is going to get much, much worse with climate change. When we look at the next category down, meaning stressed, which is action required, not urgent action required, but action required to provide food, 183 million people in 2019 were in this category in 47 countries. So there are tens, if not hundreds of millions of people who have not access, who do not have access to enough food in the world today, which is staggering that we're in the 21st century. And in this week, I'll talk about some of the countries and some of the problems that are contributing to this. And we'll be talking about Yemen, and I'll try also to talk about South Sudan and Sudan, where the food supply is just absolutely terrible. So these are the 10 worst food crises in 2019 in terms of the numbers of people. And in Yemen, which is a small country, 15.9 million people are in this crisis, urgent action required mode. And this is a very political situation, a war-torn country, a very political situation, which is just really, really terrible in terms of the humanitarian aspect of it. So it's a very, very sad situation. And as I said earlier, United States has a major food problem, even though we do not show up on this action required or urgent action required, because we actually do have the resources to feed citizens in this country if we had the political motivation to do it. This country has a real food problem, and that is only being made much, much worse by the COVID situation. And I'm going to jump to this slide, which shows that in 2020, as a result of COVID, 1 in 7 adults with children, these households, lacked sufficient food in the last 7 days. That's 1 in 7 households in this country lacked sufficient food in the last 7 days. That's a staggering number, and 8% of households with no children lacked sufficient food. And this number is high, but it's increased significantly because of COVID. And in this country, this distribution is also uneven. Black, non-Latino households, 18%, are suffering food shortages in the last 7 days. Latino, 17%. Other multiracial, not Latino, 16%. So the situation is extremely uneven. And again, like I said, we're not categorized as urgent or semi-urgent in the global food situation in terms of these reports, but we have a major food problem compared to other developed countries, and it has become much worse with COVID.